I think that Taylor Swift happens to be a marketing genius. I don't know if she's a musical genius. I've made that opinion clear. I think the Tortured Poets Department is a terrible album. But when it comes to her marketing ability, Taylor Swift is legitimately the greatest who has ever played the game. She is amazing at the game, for sure.
It works apparently because you talk about her non-fucking stop, dude.
Why the entire media went nuts when she gets married, right? When she gets engaged, the entire media...
Including you.
It goes insane. Here, for example, is CBS's Olivia Rinaldi flipping out over the engagement.
Taylor Swift is engaged.
Olivia Rinaldi, by the way, is the White House reporter for CBS. These are serious people, supposedly, who are super duper duper excited. So pop, as a medium, is a teenage medium. It is a medium that is made for teenage girls and people, because we have now prolonged adolescence, who are in their mid-20s.
Oh my God. Look, I know that Taylor Swift has a diverse audience, okay? But I think her main demographic is teenage girls. And you have someone like Ben Shapiro, who apparently can bench 200 pounds. Good for him. I don't believe it. But that's what he claims. So he's a man's man, okay? And yet, he admits to listening to Taylor Swift's albums so much that he develops a fully formed opinion and analysis of said albums. And he talks about her non-stop. I'm just pointing out some weird things about our boy Ben, okay?
You don't see a lot of 50-year-olds walking around singing pop. Not only that, pop music is based in certain tropes. You know, being brokenhearted about your latest breakup, or being F you about your latest breakup, or something about your latest breakup. Like, all of pop music is basically rooted in sexual lust in terms of its lyrics and or emotional problems. That's what pop music is about, which is why people age out of it. And the minute that
apparently not you, though. Ben, what are you, like 45? Like, come on, dude. You are spending a lot of your time talking about an artist who appeals to 15-year-old girls. You are old as fuck, but for some reason this is still an interesting topic for you. It's kind of weird. Women
stop being sexually alluring, it's very difficult for them to be successful in the pop world. And women age out of that in the pop world pretty quickly, right? Katy Perry right now is the butt of enormous mockery online for her latest tour. She's considered to be too old for the game. Katy Perry is 5 years older than Taylor Swift.
So Katy Perry's in her 40s. Have you heard of Beyonce? I believe she is a pop star, if I'm not mistaken. And she's like 50.
She is 40 years old. And she's kind of going in the opposite direction. And she just recently broke up with Orlando Bloom. And so she's kind of seen as desperate, trying to maintain attention. What's she going to do? And so can you be a 43, 45-year-old woman and singing about your latest breakup and how heartbroken you are the same way that you could when you were 30? Probably not. And is pop as a musical medium?
Oh my God. Dude, he wrote a whole fucking PhD thesis on the pop world. What percentage of Ben's day does he spend thinking about pop stars, and Taylor Swift specifically? This is so fucking weird and pathetic. Like, look, if you're a 40-year-old man and you like pop music, you think about pop music, you have, thoughts about pop music, I think that's fine. But when you're a quote-unquote serious political commentator and you're yammering on about Taylor Swift, seems like every other video, about her personal life, about how terrible her music is, that's kind of strange. It's kind of weird.
Capable of carrying actual interesting messages about, for example, marriage and having kids. When I think of sort of the musical genres in which people sing,
I need my music to be about coming home at 5 o'clock, smelling the warm meal cooked by my tradcon wife, and my 2 little kids running up to me saying, "Hey, Daddy, we're glad you're home." That would be such a great song. Ben, write that song for us, please.
about marriage and having children. The only one that pops to mind is actually country. So watch for it. I would not be totally shocked.
Right, because country is not about breakups ever, or rough relationships, or heartbreak, or any of that stuff. Yes, there are, songs about people being, faithful to their spouses, and that's great. That's great. But that's not like all of the country genre. In fact, that's probably, at least at this point, not a significant percentage. But then again, I'm not an expert, okay?
If Taylor Swift's next album, she moves back toward country, that would not be surprising to me at all, because that actually is a medium where people frequently sing about this kind of stuff. And of course, country is now broadened out to include things like Beyonce's latest album. So it would not be shocking to watch Taylor kind of move back into that medium as opposed to the poppy, kind of drug-induced, hazy, Charlie XCX pop music that she's been doing for the last 5 or 10 years. It'll be fascinating to watch. But again, my great hope here is that an entire generation of young people, particularly young women, who were told by the feminist movement and by pop stars like Taylor Swift that relationships were bound to fail and they were all about this sort of teenage angst, mature along with
Angst? Did he mean to say angst?
Taylor Swift, see this as unabashedly good. By the way, again, you're not seeing a lot of blowback. That's what's fascinating.
Wait, look, I don't pay attention to Taylor Swift news or her views, but I never heard from my friends who do like Taylor Swift that she was telling young girls to not be in relationships or to get out of their relationships when there's no problems, or convincing them to never get married or never have kids. I mean, you guys can point to me where she has said that. I've just never heard that.
Despite all of the talk about how marriage is a patriarchal institution, marriage robs women of their identity, marriage and romance is simply a hallmark of our horrible sexist past, I've yet to see anybody, literally anybody, on the left talking about why it's so terrible for Taylor Swift to get engaged and married. The sort of Gloria Steinem take on marriage is dead. And Taylor Swift may have just put a stake through it, which is really quite fascinating, because it turns out marriage is a natural institution. Romance between men and women is a wonderful and natural thing.
Wait, marriage is not natural. It's something that human beings created. It is quite literally a social construct. You don't find marriage in nature. Oh my God.
It turns out that women want, by the way, masculine men. You'll notice that Taylor Swift didn't end up marrying any of the sort of androgynous dudes that she dated. She ended up marrying, the
Yes, Ben, you know what all women want, apparently. The guy whose wife he's bragged about having a dry P word knows what women want. I don't know about you, Ben, because you live in a bubble, apparently, that's, mostly Taylor Swift themed. But it's not just ripped NFL dudes who are getting married. Has Ben heard of Todd Chrisley? This isn't the most masculine man I've ever seen before. But, putting aside all of his, legal issues, he still got married. Apparently his wife likes an effeminate man. Ben, there are lots of different types of people, and there are lots of people who like different types. Not everyone wants the same build of guy, okay?
She ended up marrying, the football player with his doofus brother who does a podcast. And that's who she ended up marrying or getting engaged to. And he ended up marrying the, again, platonically beautiful cheerleader type. Like it's about as classic a story from 1955 as you could find. And that's got to be driving some people nuts, but they won't say it. Or maybe naturally they understand that, again.
Dude, the only person it's driving nuts is you. I don't give a fuck about Taylor Swift at all, okay? The only reason I'm doing this video is to make fun of Ben because it's hilarious, okay? But she can get married to whoever the hell she wants. As long as they're an adult and it's consenting. But imagine if Taylor Swift got married to a woman. Ben would be melting down for like 3 weeks because secretly he wants to be with Taylor Swift. Because maybe, just maybe, it's not totally dry.
Deep in the human heart, there is, in fact, a desire by women for masculine men and by men for feminine women and for both of them to get married and then have babies.
Dude, why are you pushing this? Who cares what type of person someone is attracted to? Why is this such a big deal for you? Let people be attracted to whoever they want as long as, you know, it's legal. Who the fuck cares? Why do you care about this? And why are you not talking about Epstein anymore? Oh my God.
So good luck to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Again, I think this is a very, very good thing for Western civilization. And if Western civilization needs more babies, hopefully this leads off the Generation Taylor baby boom. And I do have to say, it'll be fascinating to see what the wedding is like, because...
So Ben already is thinking about the wedding. That's how much he obsesses over Taylor Swift. Is he's thinking about how cool their wedding is going to be.
They could do an unexpected thing, which I think is probably what they should do.
Ooh, that's so exciting.
I think everybody expects them to have a $20 million wedding. I think what would be fascinating is if she sort of counter-programs and does a low-key wedding in a church with Travis Kelce, classic Americana, just family and friends. I think that would actually be a very good brand move for her. Not that she needs my brand advice. She's way better at this than literally anyone who's ever lived in the history of planet Earth. But I think that would be counter-programming, especially in an era where there are so many people who are worried about conspicuous consumption and all of the rest.
You know, I think this is kind of sweet, actually. I've changed my mind. I think what is happening is that Ben is really sad that he never made it into the like real entertainment industry. He never made it in Hollywood. And you know, the music industry is adjacent. And I think this is what he really cares about. He doesn't care about politics. Okay. He was forced into that since he was like 8 years old. I think he really just wants to be in showbiz, like real show business. I think he wants to be friends with Taylor Swift. I think he does. And he's sad he's not friends with her. All right, guys, let's not give Ben too hard of a time. It's clear that he's hurt, okay? He's sad, and he's letting us know. He's letting us know, and we should be respectful of that. We should be more gentle with him, all right? Let's not make fun of him too hard. A little bit, but not too hard. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Do me a favor, leave a like, subscribe, comment, say something mean. I love those. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye-bye.